I'm here at Alumni Stadium where behind me, preparation continues for the upcoming 2015 season. Last year, DeSales went 10-3 and finished as the Region 9 runner-up as they made their 17th appearance in a regional championship. Along the way, DeSales captured their 5th Central Catholic League Silver Division title under head coach Ryan Wiggins, who's about to enter his 9th season as head coach of his alma mater. I asked him, will the experience gained last year help the team here in 2015?
There's nothing like real game experience, and those guys that were able to play a year ago played all 13 games. They're a lot better automatically this year just from that experience. So I think it's valuable. I'm hoping we can build on it.
Well, I mean, any kind of success you have the year prior can be positive for a group, which I think this group wants to carry on what that group kind of got back last year. We got back to playing the way we should be playing consistently week in and week out, and I think our kids are feeding off that. You just got to hope that we don't rest on too much winning that we did last year, and we continue to have a drive and a desire to get better.
You know, extra 3 weeks of games and practice is good for any team, so I feel like the extra experience, just the extra grind time is just helps us in the seasons to come.
Yeah, I think it help, just knowing what it takes to get to that point and what we can do better to get past the point that we made last year is definitely something that can benefit a team.
I think certainly anytime you have success the prior year, it certainly carries over into the next year, especially with as many guys on this team that played on last year's team. We went through a couple of years there where we weren't as successful and didn't get things done the way we wanted to, and winning is always contagious. So I think it carries over into the off season a little bit. It gives everyone a little more confidence, and certainly helps. I mean, that was a nice deep run for us last year, and all these guys out here were a part of that.
I sure hope so, but for the quarterbacks, they got to get reps this year. So a lot of them were on the sidelines through most of the games, towards the second half of the season. But for the most part, their growth comes from camp to scrimmage to first game, hopefully, through the course of what hopefully will be a successful season. So not so much from last year to this year. That run helped out last year's quarterback. This quarterback has to grow this season.
You've been fortunate as a head coach to have quarterbacks return with experience. Guys like Thomas Gentili, Nick Gentili, Alex Breen, and even Josh DeLozier started a handful of games as a junior. But this year, a competition at that spot. Just talk about the progression of that unit.
Well, I thought we had some good competition going there, and then we had some injuries. Nothing that is too serious, but just enough to kind of keep guys from practicing. So, that's a position that needs to keep getting better. It's a position that's going to make a lot of decisions. Position that it's a tough one. They not only do they make decisions on every play, but they get hit on every play in our offense. So it's a work in progress, and we're going to keep moving forward with it.
The competition's been good. We got a few guys dinged up in there, but it's going well. Dylan Todd, Ty Van Fossen, Paxton Hunter. I mean, they're the healthy ones right now, and they're playing well. They're learning. Very similar to the guys up front, to where they're coming along. It's just you got to bring them along in the way that they can be successful.
So I think our quarterback last year, and Josh DeLozier, was somebody that we counted on and just showed that he wanted to have the ball in his hands. We have more weapons this year, and if our quarterbacks are going through a learning curve, we have other people that we can kind of help usher them through those tougher times.
I'm real comfortable with Austin and Jake and Darren in the backfield, them experience from last year and just all that. I'm real comfortable with their speed and their ability, so I think it's all relying on them, and then I just got to do the little things.
I mean, we got to play to our strengths, and we know that we've got some very talented people in the backfield, with the likes of Jake Gilmore, Austin Andrews, Darren Hankins, and then there's a slew of other ones, younger guys that didn't play as much, that are going to continue to get looks, and we're excited about that, and I know our quarterbacks are too, because it does take some pressure off of them.
A lot of capable guys that can carry the football. Just talk about that unit as a whole.
We have 2 starters back, really 2.5 starters, I guess, back. A lot of experience. The kids do a good job. I really think they like and enjoy and embrace blocking for each other, carrying the ball, things that we take pride in, and they work well as a group, and their skill set really complements each other really, really well. And it's always nice to have guys back. We are in the fortunate position to have guys back with good experience, lots of game experience, and I'm just really excited for the kids, and hopefully you see the results on Friday night, because I do think as a whole unit, they can be pretty good.
Oh, it's great because when you have that much depth in the backfield, it makes the defense panic. And when you're coming out on full speed, power, any given night, anybody else can step up and be better.
Helps Dylan out a lot. Coming in starting this year, so it doesn't give him like the whole load when you have me, Austin, and Teeks back there.
I mean, we had experience from last year, so bringing more experience to this year and adding a couple guys like Booth will be really good this year.
You lost 3 starters along that offensive line that put in multiple years of starting experience. How's that unit progressing?
They're getting a lot better day in and day out. I mean, they're young, they're inexperienced. So with those types of kids, you feel like you see a lot of growth, especially early on. And you know, Coach Jacoby and Coach Frisora do a great job with them, and they're only going to get better as long as we stay healthy up there. I think that's going to be a solid group.
It's coming along pretty well. We're replacing everybody, and with Coach Jacoby coming in, he's expecting a lot of excellence coming from us. So, I mean, we're definitely struggling without some of our seniors, but when time goes on, we're going to be more efficient and start pushing people off the ball and having more fun winning games.
I believe we're coming along really well. You know, we're in shape. You know, I think we can get the job done this year and go further than we did last year.
How about for you? How fun is it to block for guys like Austin and Jake and Alonzo and Darren and all those guys?
Oh, it's very fun because, you know, you get to see the success they have and all the rewards they get knowing you did that for them.
It's extremely fun because we know that they can make big plays, but it all starts with the offensive line. So when we get our blocks and they make big plays, everyone's just happy. We'll have a party in the end zone.
I gotta say, you know, starting last year, you know, this helps with development, toughness, you know. Honestly, you know, we got the same stuff going on this year. We don't really change it a lot. We kind of play the same way all the time. So just, you know, starting 13 games last year just, you know, helps me personally, not only with this confidence, but just getting the game of football and just being able to understand how offense functions.
With the return of the 3 of the top 4 tacklers from last year's team, do you expect that unit, at least early on, to help lead?
I hope so, and we ask that out of our defense anyway. You know, it should be special to be on the defensive unit, and it's nice to have a guy like Ryan who played 13 games a year ago, and a guy like Luke and a guy like Darius and guys like Sean Snyder and Austin, you know, and guys that played quite a bit last year. It's a great way to start, but you know, football is all about getting all 11 to do the same thing, and so that's the challenge. You know, is we have a decent idea what those 4 or 5 guys can do. It's getting the rest of them up to speed and getting them to grow up quick.
You lost some guys last year, very key to the offense. Do you expect the defense to lead, at least early on?
Defense is going to win us games, I guarantee that. I think that our offense can be strong still, but I think our defense is definitely stronger. What
type of defense are you hoping to have?
11 hats to the football and just flying around.
What type of defense are you hoping to have here in 2015?
Aggressive, physical, you know, not letting down, not letting anybody get anything. Just having fun.
I think we're going to be a lot faster and bigger in the interior this year. I think our pass rushing going to be a lot better than it was last year.
Hoping to have a strong defense similar to the last year. You know, we lost some main parts, especially our Mike linebacker and a lot of our defensive linemen, and you know, we need to fill in some holes and play as a unit and play together.
We're hoping to have a strong and physical defense. We're known for hitting, so we're ready to bring it this year.
How about for you personally, starting as many games as you did last year? How has that improved, help you improve here?
It lets me relax and focus on what I need to work on, and I don't know, it's going to be a good season.
I think that I've grown a lot as a player from the first game last year to obviously Lancaster this year. I think that I've gotten a lot stronger. I've learned to play a lot more downhill, not as tentative.
You mentioned a couple guys, Darius and Austin. Both those guys have Division I offers. Just talk about what each of them bring to the table.
Well, I think Austin, you know, each and every week you got one of the best players on the field, or maybe the best player on the field, depending on who you're playing. But you know, he can play at a high level. There's a reason he had all those opportunities that he had. So it's nice to have a guy like that. That's not every team has guys like him, you know. And same thing with Darius. I think Darius's improvement over the last year has been unbelievable. He's playing lower and playing with his hands. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. So again, a year makes a big difference, and I think both of those guys are good players, and any given week, maybe some of the best players.
Now, you welcome some new faces to your coaching staff, but not necessarily new to the DeSales community.
Yeah, of course, Coach Jacoby spent 25 years here and is a very familiar face. It's hard to believe that he's been gone for 9 seasons, but he has. But really nice to have him back. I've said over and over that our kids have heard stories and things like that, but to be able to experience him on a daily basis is really good for our players, good for our coaches, good for everybody. You know, he's a big piece of this football tradition, probably as important of a piece as there is. And so real nice having him back. And Coach Pentello, you know, he's another guy who got his start. He's another guy who was on the '85 staff that went on and won the state championship, and was a guy who learned quite a bit from Tony Pusateri and coached with Bob Jacoby and Mark Crabtree and all those guys. So two valuable coaches, 2 very knowledgeable guys, and 2 guys that still have a lot of football coaching left in them.
How about for you, what's different as a senior?
Just taking a leadership role, you know, not being led, leading others, and trying to help the team the best way I can.
You know, it's all on the line. Last season, no regrets, can't hold back. It's more intense, it's a lot more fun.
Well, obviously 2015, I mean, last year was a pretty good season, but we hope next year to go a little bit farther, finish a few more games.
You're starting to realize that it's the last for everything. Last chance. You don't get. We only get one more chance at this, and definitely trying to take on a leadership role, trying to lead this team. And goals are like always: win the CCL and make a run in the playoffs.
With live play-by-play action of all the Stallion football games, home or away, PouringPurple.com is your home of the best St. Francis de Sales football coverage.